Well, hello guys, welcome back to Stevo Runs, channel created for like-minded people looking to become fitter, happier people. Okay, so we're out on the Dartmoor moors, out in the middle of nowhere today, following a nice route I've taken off Strava. I might explain about that on another video today. But today I want to talk to you about 5 things that I would do differently if I was starting running from scratch, or if I'd had a big break, was trying to get back into it and do things what I'd say is properly. So let's talk straight into it. Okay, the first thing I would do differently if I was running from scratch is definitely doing more trail runs. So go back to when I started, probably 5 years ago, before stopping because it was so boring. I would just run around the streets of my town because it's convenient. It was all on road, all the time on roads and paths, and quite frankly it wasn't nice, and ultimately it would lead to me having injuries when I finally decided to hit the trails. Maybe I can't blame it all on that, maybe I just weren't strong enough, but either way my ankles weren't ready for when I started to get off of the road. And this is a perfect example today. I've got a nice mixture of road and trail on the roads now, really hilly still, but I do like to get on the trails when I can, especially Sunday long run, and when I can in the mornings. What I'm doing now is a nice mixture to ready myself up for the trails. Not only that, the nice bit of fresh air and getting out of town and getting on those trails is a must. It's an absolute game changer if you're running. So if you're just running around the streets, you're soon going to get bored. It's going to do your ankles and your feet and your body no favour for slamming the road all the time. I would suggest you try and find some, get out there and make it happen. What happened to me is when I got onto the trails, sort of finally started dripping some in, I twisted my ankle and I broke it, which I've probably been whinging about for months, but I've only just really come back properly from that. And thinking if I'd have hit more trails in my earlier days, I think maybe my body would have coped a bit better and all that stuff wouldn't have happened and sort of stopped me in my tracks this year. But there we go, every day's a learning curve. If I was going back, I'd be hitting trails early. I mean, look what time into finish time. You probably can't see and make think of that, but this is where I'm running at the minute, all in the hills, and I'm going to be heading up to the Dartmoor moors at the end of this run according to this route. So point number 1, hit the trails. Okay, point number 2, and the obvious one, you can skip this point if you want, but if you're new to running or going back, this is probably one of the most serious points I could bring, but I've spoken about it a lot. Running slower. Okay, here we go. So again, back when I started, when I was running around those streets, those boring old paths, with no real training, race training in mind, I was going out and trying to prove to myself and probably other people watching that I could run quite fast. Bear in mind that was only 8-minute miles back then, but that's all I would do. Consistent 8-minute miles. Went from 3 miles up to 4 miles to 5. Eventually got up to 7 miles and 10-mile runs, but all at the same pace. And I thought that was doing the job. I thought I was teaching myself how to run at 8-minute miles. When race day comes, whenever I get one, I'll be doing them all the way around. But let me tell you, there's a sure way to stop yourself doing that running. It's a way to burn yourself out, and it's a way to make yourself fed up and not be in good condition to go the next day. For example, there's a chap, or some guys that are doing London Marathon this year. They got in on the ballot, Jamie Gitz. I've heard about their training, basically doing exactly what I was doing at the start, smashing out just over 8-minute miles round, and he's gathering this thing up. He's doing exactly what I just explained. And what we're trying to get the message passed on is that when you get to London Marathon, it's not gonna do you well at all. You try and do 26 miles at 8-minute miles because you've managed to get a few long runs in at that. What's he gonna do at the end of his training cycle, his plan, when he's got to do an 18-mile long run? What's he gonna do that at 8-minute miles? I don't think so. It's going to end in tears. It's going to end how it does for most of us on our first marathon. We completely underestimate what the marathon entails. So I'm happy to just let them go. Me and Mike have tried to pass the message on to slow things down. That's exactly what you need to do. Run slower in the early days, prepare your body for long distances, and build the base. We all know that. Anyway, that's what I do. I didn't do it. I stopped fairly sharpish. If I was going back now, I'd run slower. I'll take the advice that you see online everywhere, on this channel, on numerous channels, and from all the people that know what running includes. Get out there and do the slow miles, build your aerobic base, and then you can go and do the stuff that you want to do as a beginner runner and add a few of them in. Anyway, obvious point, but a very important one. Point 2, done. Okay, so point number 3 is, like I say, it might be personalised to you and what you can do in your lifestyle and stuff, but this is what works for me and what I would have done if I was going back to the beginning. I'll be much faster into the place where I am now than where I have been. That is running earlier in the day. Again, I've made numerous videos about this and the benefits, as long as it doesn't throw you off course with life. But getting the runs in before work is the greatest way to keep consistent on your running program. Not only does it not disturb the family life, with a bit of luck, my kids are still in bed at home on holiday, so it's the whole family. I'm out here getting it done. I'll do the same when I'm at home. I'll leave at 5:30 in the morning, get it all done before work. And what I used to find myself doing, go back to those first years again, is I used to not have no plan in mind. I say, okay, I'm going to run 2 times this week or 3 times this week, and I won't tell myself when. I'll do it when it was good to do, when actually it wasn't. I'd say I wake up on Monday, say right, it's a good start to the week. I'm staying in bed. What I'll do, I'll go after work. You get to work, suddenly you've got a big busy day on, or the sun comes out and turns to 25 degrees, and there was always something to give me that excuse to not go get it done. So then suddenly you're passing it on to the next day, and the next day you end up with some sort of little congestion at the end of the week. I was going out and running 8-minute miles 3 times on a bounce, and it was never not a consistent enough routine for me to make sure I'm getting it done. With running in the morning, since I started this, I was able to up the game to 5 days a week. Excuse my heavy breathing, it's so hilly. Up my game to 5 days a week. I know what time I was going, how far I was going, what route I was going, and getting it done. The only downfall of this is when the winter days come and it is dark, sometimes you have to hit the streets, which is kind of going against what I want to do. But for the majority of the time, you can go out there and get them done early. Even on a Sunday, set your routine so your alarm's going off. Even on that Sunday, to go out and get it ready, get it done. You've got the whole day with the family. For me, that's probably been the biggest game changer. That and slowing down, sort of a routine out. So if that sounds like you, you're at work, you just get them done here and there and not find no real pattern, have a think about setting your alarm and getting yourself out early and see what difference you can make to your running. Oh my god, what a trail. Oh man, hope the camera does this justice. Oh my good god. This is the capabilities of Strava on your watch. You can find a nice trail and take it off of them and borrow it for your run. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. Really lovely to come to hills like this. Absolutely huge. Okay, anyway, this probably brings me on to a good point, and probably matches up with point 2 a little bit, but hear me out. building the base before anything. Okay, building the base is probably something you come up to a little bit later after the start of your running journey. I did. I didn't even know what it was, never heard of it. After doing those fast short runs, getting knackered every time, like I sound now. The building base is the foundation work that you put on to be able to compete, or just for absolute general fitness. If you can build base, the first thing you do in your running journey, and you give yourself the biggest head start you can give yourself in running. It kind of conjoins with the second point, like I said, where you want to run slow, but getting the long slow miles in will help you to drop your weight, tone your body up, turn your legs up, and ready yourself for what's to come. I can't believe it's trail. So yes, point number 4, build the base, baby, and then do what you want after that. Enjoy. Wow, look at this swing. Oh dear. Could it take my weight? I don't know. Only one way to find out. Worried about that branch. Wow. Look at this. You never take the kid out of the man. Not about to swing, you swing it, baby. Oh, what a walk. I'll bring the family up here later. Oh my, oh my. Okay, point number 5. One I'm still actively working on, because this part is not easy for some. Okay, prioritising sleep and recovery. Okay, sorry, it's a bit dodgy around here. Okay, prioritising sleep and recovery. If I was going back then, I would know how damaging sleep and recovery is on your running journey. Because I'm kind of there at the minute. Having poor sleep, with having the family I have, has become a part of my life now. I feel like I'm running through tiredness all the time, and I know how much it limits your running. Your body battery's low in the morning, even when your training's going well. The bit in between is so important, and that's where the magic happens from your training. If you can get solid at least 7 hours, more if possible, then you're giving your body time for all the adaptions from the day's run, from the workouts you did, and generally wake up feeling fresher and ready for the next one. I'm out of puff. Now, I did get 7 hours in last night, 7 hours and 8 minutes to be exact. I feel way better from it. Yesterday, I had 5 hours sleep. I was watching the stars, the Milky Way, from the dark garden. And I woke up with my kid screaming at like 4. And I didn't get back to sleep from that. And as soon as I put my HRV on and my watch, it said rest day. It was like battery was 10 out of 100. So there's the sign of how much it sort of hadn't done me well with that sleep. But today, it says go for it, go for gold. And here I am. So it doesn't just mean sleep. Recovery means proper rest. Get at least 1 or 2 proper rest days in. I'm off course. Bollocks. I'm off course by quite a way. Not looking. Yeah, that means getting rest days in, when they're needed, and that means proper rest. Although I did go for a walk yesterday because I couldn't help myself. A rest day is a rest day. You need a few of them to recoup, and that's the ultimate days that send your training going in the right direction. Okay, that's point number 5. And just one little bonus point while I'm thinking about it is warm up. Yeah, I get it. Switch off if you want. No one likes to warm up. It's boring, it's time wasting. But just some simple dynamic leg swings before you go, or a bit of slow running at the beginning. I find that when I'm doing a slow day, they're so slow at the beginning that feels like sufficient warm up, but I still get the dynamic leg swings and bits in before I leave. It only takes 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, but ultimately it's going to serve you very well on your runs, and that's like almost already the start of the recovery we talked about before you leave, and readying your body to sort of relax when you get back. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. That's what I'd do if I was going back to running now, and all the mistakes I made at the beginning and ones I would never make if I knew about these at the beginning. So I hope this serves you well. Please take them on board. Let me know if you do these or what you don't do, and how your running journey is going in general. I'd love to hear it, and I'll write back to everybody on YouTube as always. So thanks for joining me from the hills of Devon Moors. See you on the next one. Stevo runs.